So you might think that that was serious, and look, in many ways it was, but I have a little hunch, and my little hunch is for whatever ounce of seriousness you think was in his life or any great person's life, in their own mental dialogue, in their own relationship to themselves, they weren't as serious as you think. Of course, they might not have been laughing and joking, but we got to think about what we mean by serious. Remember earlier I said that in Hindu philosophy there was this idea of Leela, the divine play? Well, just the idea of playing takes the edge off in and of itself. It allows you to step where you couldn't otherwise. Because I guarantee you one thing, and that is that if any of those people who you might think are very serious, who've achieved great things in their life, really took every step they took seriously, they would never move. It's like thinking about moving every single muscle in your body in order to walk across the room. You'd never get there because there are just too many things working. But instead, we don't have to think necessarily like they did, right? Because maybe that's impossible. But what we can do is we can put ourselves in their state. And that's powerful. And I'll tell you one thing. The only way I know to do this is to start playing. Start acting as if. It's in Machiavelli. It's in the Greek. It's in almost every culture. That one of the quickest ways to attain results is basically through play. Now, they might not call it play. They might call it modeling, or that's at least the name that we use for it now. But it's essentially play. And you don't necessarily have to model someone in specific. You can model an idea. You can model a concept or a feeling or emotion. Like, for example, you can model the executive who has a head screwed on tightly to his shoulders, who has all the ideas locked firmly in his head, who is intelligent and on top of life and himself. We could go on and on and on about this, but the point is, you can model that person. You can bring their energy into you, right? And dissociate. That's the key. Not take it so seriously. Not think that if you make one little mistake, your entire reputation in life will be tarnished, because it won't be. And if they thought that, they'd be exactly in the place that you're in now, not taking action. And that's what power is. It's the ability to act upon your own volition. And you cannot act upon your own volition if you are afraid that you won't be able to act upon your own volition. I know it's circular, but look, it makes sense. I mean, the point is, if we keep moving on in a direction that's not serving us, if we keep moving on in a direction that hurts us, well, we're not going to fulfill our dreams. We're not going to be the change that we want to see in the world. Yet, if we can just step back and take ourselves out of ourselves for one giant moment, we can do anything. We can do anything. Imagine you talking to someone else, giving your friends advice. I hope you have a friend that's shameless, because if you do, you'll see exactly what I mean. If you can accept that friend for the shameless person they are, well, guess what? You can see they can do anything. They can do anything. And then you'll probably think to yourself, gosh, if I could just do a little bit of what they do, well, I would achieve 100 times what I've achieved now. But then what's the issue? You get locked up into shame. Shame and seriousness are perchmates. They're brother and sister. Right? If things are serious, then if you screw them up, you feel shame. But you don't have to allow that in yourself. Let go of it. Free it. And instead, have some fun. Have a little fun with your life. Don't take it so seriously. And it's so hard. I know as I'm telling you this, I know it's so hard to let go of it. But let me give you an idea to end on. And that is, let's talk about presence. Presence is being conscious of itself. That's all you are. All you are is pure consciousness that sometimes deludes itself into thinking that it's something else. And if you don't believe me, do something that you don't really want to do right now. Do something that you don't really want to do. It could be a simple thing, like, for example, scream, ah! Or it can be, like lift your arms up over your head. Anything. Do something really simple. Or it could be something even more intense. If you're listening to this at your computer, and you haven't spoken to someone for a while, or you just got someone's number who you want to talk to, call them. Call them, especially if you don't want to do it. Or exercise. Yeah, that's a great one. Or do a really hard yoga asana or posture. Now, what's the point of this? The point of this is the following. That if you can change who you are at this very instant, if you can, as they say, sacrifice who you are for who you will become, if you can change yourself, well, then everything you think you are right now is an illusion. Because it is just a belief and a lie that you keep repeating to yourself. Sartre had the idea of the waiter, and he said, well, can you ever be something? He said, no, because being is nothingness. So no one is a waiter, but they can tell themselves all day long, since I do blah, 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 and I'm doing blah, blah, blah right now, and I'm carrying this dish, and I'm serving these people, I'm a waiter, I'm a waiter, I'm a waiter, I'm a waiter, I'm a waiter. And we can repeat these mantras in our mind all day long and never proceed. But the point is, if we let go of those false ego identifications and we realize that we are the witness, then the whole world becomes a stage. And we realize we can act in every way we want to. And that our actions can be directed to achieve specific results. And we don't have to hold an ounce back now. Isn't that exciting? Doesn't that feel good? But look, this doesn't come from a place of seriousness. This comes from a place of letting go. A place of becoming totally free with your life. Realizing that nothing can touch you because you can change. And anything that happens, you can change it. And that's where real confidence comes from. So much love, many blessings, and play some games.